Massive fires burning tonight out of control in Southern California and Los Angeles.
It is really tough to see how much this fire has grown and how devastating it is for this neighborhood out here.
We just arrived here in what is left of downtown Pacific Palisades, and I am overwhelmed by the scale of loss.
Well, wildfires are in the news again. And last week, Josh Frankel and I were chatting and discovered that we have something in common. In 2018, my family lost our home in the Camp Fire in Paradise, California. And Josh, you just returned from Pacific Palisades, where your family just lost your home. Tell us a little bit about what you're experiencing and what you're going through.
Yeah, well, it still is surreal. It's devastating. I grew up in Pacific Palisades and went home to help family over the last few days. And I mean, it's truly surreal. It's apocalyptic. It's all the things that you're seeing on the news. But you can certainly share with me this experience as much as anyone in the world, having gone through this with your own family. And you actually helped me, gave me really good advice last week on what to do and how to help family. And then really also, how do we help our clients prepare for something that you think is never going to happen?
I think that's a common outcome or a common response from anyone who's been through this is, I never thought it would happen to me. And because of that, sometimes we don't take the steps that we could take to prepare so that we at least can try to mitigate the damage and the pain as we're in the recovery process. What are some of the things that you're going home and thinking, I'm going to do this now that I've seen the aftermath?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think one of the first things is having an emergency kit prepared with all of your essentials, especially with kids. What do you need to pack to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible in times of just complete and utter crisis? Going to review our insurance policies for sure. Just what is the actual cost versus replacement cost versus loss of use versus our personal property? What documentation do we have? What inventory list do we have? I mean, there's so many things that after the fact you wish you had done. And this is a good warning to all of us that it can happen to any of us at any time. And now is the time to take those precautions.
Well, you just hit on three really important things. And one is making sure that you have kind of essential items with you. And the thing that I most think of in an emergency kit would be things like having your medications, things that your pets need, which might include pet medications as well. So kind of having that preparation ready to go. You might just keep it in your car all the time because, again, you never think it's going to happen to you. And the second thing you mentioned was around insurance. And with inflation, a topic that we've been talking a lot about here at Ferguson Wellman over the past few years, home values have also increased. And making sure that your insurance reflects your current value and that you have proper coverage for all the items in your house. Another really important item. And then documenting some of what you have. It's really difficult when you go to make an insurance claim and they ask you for your receipt. And you say, well, that was in my kitchen drawer. I don't have that anymore. It was on my computer and it wasn't backed up off site. So making sure that you have all those essential documents, not only that you have records of them, but you have the backups off site, maybe grabbing some video content of your home with even a cell phone.
Yeah, that's a great way to document it, is take your phone around your house or your apartment and just video everything that you have. So you have some sort of proof of your assets and what you own. Now, Mary, a question for you, now that you're 6-7 years removed from the fire in Paradise, California, what advice do you have for people who have just gone through this horrific experience? And also the people asking, how can I help? What can I do?
Yeah. The first thing I always say in a crisis, whether it be death or the loss of a home or other sort of crisis, is breathe. It's often hard because we think that we just need to take immediate actions. And it's important just to breathe. Hopefully it's clean air. Yes. And give yourself a moment to digest some of what's happening. But there are a few other things, depending on your circumstances. When you have something like the loss, not just of a home, but of an entire community, that can impact jobs. So making sure that you're filing for unemployment right away. There's some waiting periods involved in that. Immediately looking to secure housing. If you know you're going to stay in a community, making sure that you're getting access to what may be a limited resource going forward. in terms of advice for other people, I think one of the best things you can do is take action for them. And I don't mean tell them what to do, but there are some simple things like buying basic essentials so that they can get dressed and put shoes on in the morning. If they know what they're looking for in terms of where they want to live, go say, let's go tour these 3 apartments today. Really helping support. What my family experienced was just every decision became overwhelming and you started to go down a rabbit hole. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do this because I don't know what the insurance company is going to do and I don't know if they're going to rebuild this. And so it can be overwhelming. So just taking action and listening. There's a lot of highs and lows in this process. I'm strong today. I can do this. We would say we're Paradise Strong. And the next day you're falling apart because you go to look up your mom's recipe and the recipe book is burned. And then you want to call your sister, but the phone book is gone. And it just changes.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good advice. And I've certainly experienced that in the last week and a half with family, just all those ups and downs, the roller coaster that you go through. And so it's one of those events you really never think is going to happen to you or your family. And it was another one of those life reminders that it can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. And now is the time to start taking those precautions so we are prepared when something like this happens.